This is the most difficult job in the world. Our industry criticizes us brutally. We're treated unfairly almost always. People lie again and again, again and again. And then when you achieve something, there's a rush to trivialize these enormous accomplishments. Solving proof of stake is a scientific query of the same level as one of the millennium problems in mathematics. It's a revolutionary new way of an entire field of academia to look at a problem and a thing. Literally, people have invested decades of their lives pursuing approaches that will fall out of mainstream as a consequence of the research that's being done by the scientists in this company. Imagine how incredibly disheartening it is to publish paper after paper, to see thousands of citations, to be accepted in the highest levels of peer review, than to have litanies of podcasters, Reddit posters, and other people and competitors trivialize that and say, well, proof of stake is already solved, that's already done, or it doesn't work, it's perpetual motion. Including some who actually hold advanced degrees in the field that we study, knowing full well that there's real work there. Yet, despite those criticisms, showing up for work the next day, even more passion, excitement, and fire to write the next paper, to solve the next problem, to make things better. The same for the engineers. When we build a completely new way of doing smart contracts, a completely new model of thinking about smart contracts that we feel in our bones is the right way to do things, only to be told, well, everybody else has smart contracts. You guys are so far behind. You're incompetent. You don't know what you're doing. And then show up to work the next day and say, well, not only I got to do this, but I got 1,500 Plutus pioneers, all passionate and excited, who want to develop, and I got to take care of them. And they're complaining that the documentation's no good. We got to make that better. And then have fire in their belly for that. The kinds of people that rise to these occasions and get these things done day after day, you don't bet against those people. They're going to get it done one way or another. And why are we getting it done? Because we see the faces of the people who are using these products. They're not the wealthy. They're not the powerful. They're not the privileged and great places who won the genetic and geographic lottery and they were born to the right families and born in the right countries. They're the people begging for new things, new systems. We made a commitment we'd find them. We made a commitment we'd give them the tool boxes to be in control of their own lives and their own destiny. And we even built a gargantuan funding engine, Catalyst, that has more than $500 million at the moment in it, ready to go, ready to deploy for them to build the next Microsoft and the next Facebook, the next Google, and tell the world who they are. That's why we have that fire and that passion. And I'd like to thank my people because they demonstrated it even when I couldn't. And they rose me up when I was weak. So it means the world to me. And I'm excited that our best days are truly ahead of us. And I'd also like to thank you, the community. You've done absolutely amazing things, and you've had saintly patience. The criticism and brutality that you've had to endure being Cardano fans, to be said you're part of a cult, you've been misled, you're an idiot, everything that we've done is going to fall apart tomorrow, and ha ha ha, so fun. The lies you've had to endure, the slander you've had to endure, and yet you show up every day. You do amazing things. You create space buds. You create great applications. You've come to Catalyst, over 30,000 people floating around doing something, criticizing, debating. They're trying to figure out the path forward. You send emails. You put your hopes and dreams on your sleeve. And when you can't, you write letters. Some I've gotten handwritten from prison. Some I've gotten typewritten from 100-year-old people. Some I've gotten from 5-year-olds. Everyone all around the world. So much passion. And each and every one of you in your own way. Some of you are technologists and programmers. Some of you are doctors and lawyers. Some of you are accountants. Some of you are truck drivers. You're all equal here in Cardano. And each and every one of you had the passion, the faith, and the commitment. I'd like to thank you for that. Be part of this. Aspiration is becoming reality. We're not quite there yet for all the things. We're sure as hell a lot closer today than we were just 6 months ago. Much more so when you look 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And we look to the next 3 to 5 years, what will define Cardano more so than anything I've done today or the passionate people at my company do things will be you. And that gives me the greatest hope, because I look to my community and I say, you're better than all the other ones. You're better than us. You're going to get it done. Millions and eventually tens and eventually hundreds of millions of you collectively are smarter, faster, better, tougher, and more passionate than anything I could ever conjure. And I know the thousands of companies, the thousands of ventures, the thousands of ideas that come funded through Catalyst, endorsed by the community, built by the community, are going to define Cardano in ways that are unimaginable and change the systems of the world. So end to end, all, it's been a tough year. It's been a tough while, but it's been worthwhile. The birds have landed. More to come, always to come. I love birds. I'll keep looking for them. But let's enjoy this month and let's enjoy these accomplishments. And, at the end, when we celebrate the Africa special, let's make that a milestone for all of us. And then we look to the next one, the launch of Alonzo. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for coming. And thank you all for being part of our family and giving as much as you have. There's nothing I'm ever going to do in my life, no matter how big it gets, that's as meaningful as the moments we've shared together over the last few years. And I take that to heart and I remember it. You don't get to choose when you leave the arena. Every sports star knows that. A lot of politicians learn that. And many great CEOs learn that lesson too. So all you can choose is how you spend the time when you're there. And I wouldn't choose to spend it any other way. You're absolutely amazing and you've changed my life and you've made it a lot better. 4 years ago, we embarked on an agenda to enter into the African continent. And we hired and brought in lots of amazing people. And we went through a really tough time trying to navigate the serpentine business culture of all the different African countries. Africa's not a monolith. It's many different places. There's a world of difference doing business in northern Chad than there is being in South Africa or Rwanda or Ethiopia. And many of the countries there, they're very ancient. They have long traditions, some cases traditions that predate European civilization. And there's a perspective of do things in their time. So we understood that patience was a virtue, and we were fully prepared as a company to make a long arc investment. I said, I'm a young guy. I have the money. We have the time. Let's go do that. And today we saw with the New York Times, Steelbook Story, and City AM, and many more to come. There's a long list of publications that will be covering the Ministry of Education deal that not only has happened, it's signed, it's done. We're in the execution phase. We're hiring more than 30 people, I think, in the jurisdiction to service it. It's a multi-year deal, quite significant, covering 5 million people. That patience has paid off.